Hi. I was just thinking, believe it or not. It's amazing how that works. Thinking, you should try it sometime. It's just the best. I mean, it can be troubling, of course, but you got to take the good with the bad. Otherwise, you got nothing at all, right? There we go. Hi, how you doing? I was just thinking about entropy, right? Things breaking down slowly over time. Even the atom degrades until there's no more spin, and the subordinate particles of the atom are just drift off into cold nothingness, so the Big Bang Theory would tend to propagate. I don't buy any of that, of course, but that is kind of one of the great chill, they call it, and everything that was hot in the universe becomes cold and stops at its expansion point, right? But we're not there yet because it's still accelerating into a redshift, and that makes perfect sense, of course. So, moving right along. I was thinking about entropy and how it relates to living organisms, because the very idea of an organism, a biological creature of any kind, coming into existence, growing from a seed or a pod or a birth into a presumably stronger, larger, and more capable type of creature shouldn't be possible by the laws of entropy, because everything degrades, and that's just normal and makes a lot of sense. Let's never question it. But beyond that, that shouldn't really be possible for there to be people or anything alive, for that matter, by laws of entropy. So there must be some sort of little clause in the law of entropy. That's not the point, though. I'm going to stick with it here. Trying to stay there. Okay, so... aging. Hello. So, I've heard this story about how, we're born and then our cells divide or our cells divide and then we're born later, I should say. Okay, and we get larger, and our immune systems and all of the endocrines and everything in our body and in of it, all of us gets fully grown at some point, and that's its peak of operating. Its peak operations right then, right? Whether, whatever it be just, physically, sexually, mentally, which mentally, as long as your processes are still functioning, just increases over time. But I digress. Okay, so we supposedly get old, right? And there are things that happen when you get old that are just, it's just normal, of course, like for your hair to start turning white and losing its color. That's just normal. It is purely the effect of time on a living creature. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. We should never question it. There couldn't possibly be any other factor in your environment that could, imitate the effects of time, let's say. Let's say that, if it were possible, which we know it's not possible, but if it were possible, because, if it were possible, our wise physicians and medical people of this country that have been racing with billions of dollars for decade after decade, they're racing hard every single day. They're in the laboratory running laps trying to save your life. But I digress. Purely getting old, getting white hair, silver hair, and having skin issues and dryness and liver spots and varicose veins and failing eyesight, and your nails don't grow right, and you get the weird lumps and bumps that just mess you up pretty much like all day, every day, and they accumulate over time, faster or slower sometimes. But this is perfectly normal aging. See, this is what happens when a body just travels through what is called space-time, and so as a result of just moving through that space-time, see, everything fails in the body because of the time, and it couldn't possibly have anything to do with the buildup of any physical substances in the environment itself. That is secondary to the time passage, you see. Time goes by, and then aluminum goes into your body. Aluminum just there. It's already there. It becomes apparent that it's there because of time and time alone. We should never question that. It makes a lot of sense. You know, that time all by itself is the sole cause of aging. Because how do we determine aging, right? We determine aging by the signs and symptoms that a person might experience. Sorry for talking in a weird way. I'm trying to make a point. The point is, I gotta turn right here. My signal's on. The point is, the notion that time is the source and the cause of physical degradation, the entropy of a person's body and mental processes and all of that, anything that has to do tie in with the physicality of being alive, the idea that it is a result of time is ridiculous. I didn't even cuss. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And our medical system hinges on that right there, that there is something that's causing problems in people's physical lives and brains and body over time, that just it's beyond understanding. It's just the effects of time. Let's accept it and move right along and go get our pills, okay? What's wrong now? That is ridiculous to think that could be true. When you really make a side-by-side comparison of all of, or as many as you can think of, effects of time on a person over time, what I just described: varicose veins, white, gray, silver hair, dry skin, arthritis, stinky feet, and the fucking whole 9 yards, okay? Oops, pardon my language. When you really, let's check out the Salmon Creek. Not quite at flood stage yet, but it's been raining a lot. Okay, so, right. When you do a side-by-side comparison of the effects of time and the accumulation of metal toxins in a person's physical body, what are the signs and symptoms of those two conditions? Because clearly, passing through time is not exactly the same thing as accumulating toxins. You could say that over a period of time, we accumulate toxins at a rate depending upon the level of toxins in our environment is a correct way of saying that. But to clearly say that we accumulate toxins over time is very inadequate. It's a very inadequate definition. Branches. What got me on this line of thought was the storm. Thinking like a storm is just by its very fact that there is a storm, the energies, it shows that there's multiple forms of energy combining in one location. Because there inherently would be, the motion of the air and the wind and temperature changes and the water are all indicators of the energies that are behind those things, all meeting in one point. Turbulence. Back to the story. So what I am suggesting is nothing less than all of Western medicine hinges upon the idea that, well, other than if you get in a car crash or you get stabbed with a knife, those are different types of conditions. But just the long-term, slowly accumulating problems that people deal with in life getting old, literally, you try and look around at a real root cause or reason of the aging thing, and doctors are got their hands in their pockets and they're walking around whistling, looking at the ceiling. Gee whiz, we don't know. Come on, give us money. Let's race for a cure. Meet me under the chemtrail skies by the big cell tower and we'll race for a cure together. Come on, everybody. Woo-hoo. We're smart. We're smart. That's what's going on. Okay, I digress. The very notion that is our medical system. That is our medical system. We don't know. Here, let us poison you and see if that helps. See if that will kill the thing that's killing you. Because it couldn't be, a non-living thing that's killing you. It's got to be some sort of living thing attacking your biology with its biology. We got to stop it. We need antibiotics to stop its life form, but not our life form. Blah, 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 blah. I went to college for 10 years and got hundreds of thousands of dollars in bills. I know what I'm talking about. I'm smart, said the doctor. The notion that aging is a result of time is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And living creatures at all fly in direct opposition of the idea of the laws of entropy that do not apply in living systems. Entropy is like for a machine. Bearing surfaces and load bearing things and, wear points on machinery that are mappable. You know exactly when the part's going to break. When they sell you a new part for your car and you put it on, they know exactly how many times your car is going to start within a small percentage, one way or the other. They know exactly how many times within a very small percentage of how many times your car's going to start. They know it. They know it already because it was designed into the part. So, I guess the more you pay, the longer they'll give you on your part. They could design machinery for most applications that uses materials and things that relative to our lifetime would be forever. I mean, they could make a car that would not need service, maybe other than the oil changed once every 100 years or something. It would last multiples of lifetimes of owners, but it would be prohibitively expensive. Difficult to make lots of those, right? So we get stuck somewhere in the middle by necessity. Simply by necessity. The bare necessities. What a mess. Hey, that looks like my van. Trippy. Oh. Oh, plumbing problems. Okay, so I guess that's my video on this stormy day about entropy being an incomplete theory, and we're gonna make it. We're making up this one. I better pocket right here. Okay, come on now. Act like I was gonna blow my tent away. Okay, so the summary. Hi. Hey. Oh, raise the roof. Entropy is an incomplete explanation for aging. And the progression of time is just woefully incomplete to describe the process of aging. And when you overlay the effects of the toxic buildup of metals, I'm thinking specifically the non-ferrous metals, in living creatures, and then you see how that affects them. So you could take someone really young, and if they somehow were, filled with toxic metals by some just terrible misfortune in their lives of their environment or accident or whatnot, they would have effects of that poisoning, right? Probably things like white hair and sore joints and failing organs and varicose veins and possibly eye, vision problems and things of that nature as a result of their toxic poisoning of these metals. Okay? And that happened all at once, because they were in an unfortunate place at the wrong time, Not the right place at the right time, Dr. John, the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's how they got that condition that caused those set of symptoms. And you can take those symptoms, you take a little picture card of each one that represents it, and you lay it out in a big square. And then you take another one over here, and you take all the effects of time on a person that is called aging. And take little pictures of what that old person is experiencing. Here's a picture of a swollen knee joint. Okay, that must hurt a lot. Here's your fucked up varicose veins on your lower extremities. Oh, there you go. That's nice. Here's your big white shock of hair, all pure snow white. Because once you lose the pigment color, the pigmentation in your cells, because of time, see, then the pigment stops flowing. And what we understand at that point is that the actual color of the cellular material that makes up a human being is pure snow white. Who would have thunk it? But there's your proof positive. As soon as that pigment stops flowing, you're pure white. Everything is pure white. Doesn't matter what race, nationality, creed, or color, we're all white inside. Yep, all we got to do is look at the pigmentation that stopped, and then we know we're white, right? You still with me? The crux of our medical establishment is based on that. You don't know what's wrong with you. You're getting all these problems because you're getting old. Quit bitching. Quit bitching about getting old, dumbass. Go down and get your injections, and then you'll be doing as much as you can. That's all you can do. I mean, we could race for a cure. Well, we won't stop doing that, of course, because it's important that we, don't give up hope on helping the children for future generations, because it's all about the children, you see. We've got a plan for the children's future. The government's got a plan for your health, and they're enacting it right now. Isn't that wonderful? It's important to have a good health plan, and if you haven't made one for yourself of your own accord, don't worry. The government's got one planned for you, and it's being enacted right now. The government. To govern your mind. Take care, y'all. Have a good day.